great pleasure to have with us the top management of E.I.D. Parry to discuss Q1 FY21 earnings. From the management side, we are represented by Mr. S. Suresh, who is the Managing Director, Mr. Ramesh Kumar, who is the CFO, Mr. Suresh Kannan, who heads the refinery business, Mr. Muthu Murugappan, who oversees the nutraceutical business, and we also have the company secretary on the call. Without much ado, I now hand over the floor to Mr. Suresh. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Tushar. Good morning, everyone. Nice to meet with you on this nice morning. Thanks for taking time out and joining the call. I'd like to start the call. The good news that the company's performance for this quarter 1 of 2021, is better than the corresponding quarter of the previous year. In fact, the EBITDA, we have posted a positive EBITDA of 6 crores compared to a loss of around 31 crores of the corresponding quarter of the previous year, a swing of around 37 crores. This has been made possible on account of better realization coupled with a lot of cost reduction measures across various areas. As usual, I'll start with the international scenario, then come to the domestic scenario, then talk about the businesses. On the international front, as all of you know, the crude prices have fallen and then the ethanol demand has been subdued, and Brazil has started shifting to more of a sugar mix, higher of sugar mix, and coupled with that, we are also anticipating a higher Indian output for the next sugar season, lower output in Thailand. All these are leading to a very, very small deficit for the sugar year 2021. So international prices are not going to have much of a rise. That is what is our assessment. They are going to remain subdued till the demand picks up. Coming to the Indian scenario, we have for the current season in India, it is a sugar year. The production is somewhere around 27 million tons. We started with the opening stock of 14 million tons. This year, against the normal consumption of 26 million tons, definitely the first 2 quarters of this financial year is going to pull down the overall consumption for the sugar year by at least 2 million tons. However, to some extent, the exports are happening against the 6 million tons. We hope around 90% should get completed. With this, for the current sugar year also, we may be expecting a closing stock of close to around 14-15 million tons. So for the next sugar year, we are anticipating definite 15 to 20% jump in the production. The consumption might come back to the original level of 26 million tons. We have been pushing the government for another tranche of export close to around 6 to 7 million tons, and hoping that the fuel demand picks up and the diversion to ethanol also happens. Still, we will be having a closing stock for the sugar year 2021 in the range of around 13 to 14 million tons. That means another repeat of the year in terms of prices is expected in the domestic market. Now, just coming back to the business, I must say that the E.I.D. team overall has done a fabulous job in terms of ensuring business continuity during these COVID times by running the factories in a very, in the new normal way of running the factories and in a safe way. There were disruptions in supply chain, logistics, etc. In fact, the COVID has hit us in terms of sale of sugar and alcohol in the months of April and May, to some extent in the month of June as well. Despite that, we have been able to pull off some good number of exports. Thereby, we have been able to do a better quarter for this financial year. The company also launched the hand sanitizers out of alcohol under the brand names Hand Clean and SteriSafe during the quarter. On nutraceuticals front, the consolidated nutraceuticals registered a strong growth with a turnover of close to around 74 crores as against 47 crores in the corresponding quarter of the previous year. The stronger offtake in the US market has been the key driver. Another important aspect has been the company had sold 2% of stake in the subsidiary, the Coromandel International Limited, during the quarter, and the proceeds have been used to reduce the high cost debt of the company. Overall, it has been a good quarter for us, and I would now leave the floor to Mr. Ramesh Kumar, our CFO, who will take you through the details. Over to you, Ramesh.
Thank you, Suresh. Good morning to everyone. Nice to meet you all through this video conferencing mode, rather audio conferencing mode during COVID time. I'm happy to share you the performance for the quarter 2021, first quarter 2021, and also share you some of the operating parameters. The financial performance for the company for the quarter 1 FY 2021, the revenue of the company for the quarter 1 2021 was rupees 491 crores, which is more by 26% over last year first quarter of rupees 389 crores. The increase in revenue is due to better realization, as Mr. Suresh explained, better realization from sugar and alcohol, and also increase in sales volume of sugar, particularly there are a lot of good export going during the first quarter. During this quarter, there is also an important event happened. This company had sold 58,50,000 number of equity shares, representing a 2% stake in the subsidiary Coromandel International Limited at a price 629.19, aggregating to a value of 368 crores. The proceeds was used towards the reduction of the debt, as explained by Mr. Suresh, which I will explain you more details as required. The PBT for the current quarter was profit of rupees 305 crores, as against the last year quarter 1 loss of 92 crores. The decrease in loss was mainly because of increase in the average sales realization and volume of sugar and selling price increase in alcohol. The PAT for the quarter ended June 2020 is a profit of 226 crores as against a loss of 53 crores in the corresponding quarter. On a consolidated basis, the PBT for the company group for the quarter 1 was 276 crores as against the last year first quarter loss of 11 crores. The profit after tax for the company in current year quarter 1 was 130 crores at a consolidated level as against the last year loss of 3 crores. Let me now turn the table to operating numbers of the business. As far as the sugar is concerned, the company crushed about 4.12 lakh metric tons in the current quarter as against 2.14 lakh metric tons in the last year first quarter. The recovery was also around 8.24% in the current year quarter 1 as against the last year recovery of 7.16% during the same quarter. The production of sugar for the current quarter was about 0.34 lakh metric tons as against the last year of 0.20 lakh metric tons. The sugar sales for this current year quarter 1 was close to about 1.02 lakh metric tons as against 0.78 lakh metric tons in the last year first quarter. The sales volume is as far as the sales is concerned, still the release order mechanism is in place. We are ensuring that whatever quota is allotted to is completely fulfilled, and we also ensure that the MAQ allotted to is also fulfilled. We also did some 0.4 lakh metric ton of MAQ allotted quota during this quarter. The stock carried by us during the current quarter is 1.19 lakh metric tons as required by the government. The revenue for the quarter from sugar segment alone is 374 crores. As far as Cogen is concerned, we have generated 5.34 crore units and exported 3.09 crore units during the current quarter 1. The average rate was close to about 3.41 per unit, and currently Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh are still the only two states are in PPA. Tamil Nadu is not in PPA. We are actually selling power in Tamil Nadu through IEX mode only. Approximately, we are realizing around 2 rupees only through IEX mode. The Cogen revenue during the quarter was 14 crores as against last year of 10 crores. As far as the distillery is concerned, we have produced alcohol around 157 lakh liters and sold to the extent of 145 lakh liters at an average price of 61 rupees 80 paise during the current quarter. The ENA sales were about 108 lakh liters at an average price was around 62 to 63. During the current quarter, we also sold ethanol about 32 lakh liters as against 59 lakh liters last year quarter 1. The distillery revenue is close to 92 crores in the current quarter as against 95 crores of last year. During the quarter 1, company has taken license for manufacture and sale of hand sanitizers in 3 distilleries, Aliyar, Nellikuppam and Sankli unit. We have manufactured and sold hand sanitizers around 1.2 lakh liters during this current quarter of Q1. I will now give some information about the Nutra business. Nutra revenue on a consolidated basis was close to around 74 crores in the current quarter as against 47 crores in the last year first quarter and also had a loss of about 3 crores in the current quarter against a loss of 11 crores in the corresponding quarter. Due to the very good performance from US Nutra business, as far as the capex program to the current quarter was not much, only around 10 to 12 crores was incurred. The rest are deferred due to the pandemic situation. However, our Bagalkot project is online. We will expect the Bagalkot project to be on target during quarter 4 of this year. As far as the expenses are concerned, as Mr. Suresh explained, we are continuing to have a very tight control on all the fixed costs. We have done a drastic reduction or reduced substantially all our fixed costs during this quarter, and we'll keep this momentum continuing. I've been sharing quite a few time always about the debt numbers, ensuring that there is a reduction in the loan. During this quarter, as I told you, we have sold the Coromandel stake, which helped us to reduce the debt. So at the beginning of the year, we had 1,055 crores in our books. During the quarter 1, the loan was 367, long-term loan was 367 crores as against the quarter 4 of 543 crores. In case of short-term loan is concerned, the current quarter it is at 342 crores as against the year-end numbers of 492 crores. During this quarter, we repaid all the high-cost loan, as Mr. Suresh explained, by using the proceeds of CIL, ensured that all the high-cost debts are reduced. In the order rank of priority of high-cost to low-cost debt, we reduced the debt. The finance cost has also reduced substantially. We expect the cost of finance cost to see the reduction in the finance cost in the coming quarters. Our story on this loan and interest will continue. We focus more to reduce the loan and interest on a continuous basis. Thank you. I leave the floor to open for questions.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1. Reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1. The first question is from the line of Akshay Ajmera from Nirzar Securities. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Hi. Hi, sir. Congratulations on very good set of numbers. Sir, my question is regarding the refinery business. Can you throw some light on how we fared in the refinery business during this quarter? And my second question is, as we are on a continuous streak of reducing our debt, what are our plans of reducing debt? Do we have plans to monetize some of our assets? And if you can share something about that. Thank you so much.
First, I'll ask Mr. Suresh Kannan to talk about the refinery business, and later on I'll talk about the reduction of further debts.
Yes.
Good morning, Akshay. Regarding the refinery business, in case of first quarter, the refinery sold 1.24 lakh tons of sugar. This is a little bit lower than what was sold last year, mainly on account of deferment of sale from the customers on view of the ongoing pandemic. So most of the institutional buyers and destination buyers, because of the COVID-related lockdowns, though have contracted, they have requested us to hold and then ship it in the subsequent months. So that's the reason the top line of the refinery for the first quarter is 376 crores as compared to 577 crores of the first quarter of last year. And in terms of operations, we were able to operate the refinery after the first lockdown was lifted and export-based units were allowed to operate as per the government. So we were able to function close to 70 days out of this 90 days of this quarter with a production of 1.72 lakh metric tons.
Okay. And how are the spreads in the refinery?
Refining business on account of the overall global demand supply situations, we are at a spread level of average around $45 to $50 per ton for the year. So there are temporary spikes of white premiums and spreads, but on an average for the year, we are at around $45 to $50 per ton.
And what was our PBIT segment
the PBT for the quarter was a loss of 7.8 crores as against 6.33 crore loss of the previous year. Though sale was practically lower by 1 lakh ton. A lot of this impact was made up on account of efficient management of cost, as a result of which we are more or less able to match the previous year's first quarter numbers.
And what will be the gain?
Sorry to interrupt you. May we request that you return to the question queue for follow-up questions?
Okay.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to ensure that the management is able to address questions from all participants in the conference, please limit your questions to 2 per participant. Should you have a follow-up question, we would request you to rejoin the question queue. The next question is from the line of Sohaig Naik, individual investor. Please go ahead.
Thank you. First of all, congratulations on good set of numbers. I have a couple of questions. The first question is on the refining business itself as to what is the outlook for the current year, for the full year after that the first quarter impact. And the second question is, what is our long-term strategy on the nutraceutical business? Could you share your perspective on the same?
Sure, sir. I'll answer the first part of the question on the refinery, and Sumut Murugappan will follow it up with the nutraceutical piece. Yeah. So as far as the outlook for the year as a whole, there is a tight to reasonably tight demand supply situation for refined sugar globally. That's on account of the fact that major refined sugar exporter of the world, which is Thailand, is basically suffering from worst drought over the last 40 years, as a result of which the refined sugar production and exports out of Thailand has dried down considerably during the year, and we expect the same situation will continue for the year 2021, depending upon the weather events that are unfolding currently. So as a result of which, there is considerable traction for refined sugar in the global market, and that's also a reason why we are seeing there has been a strengthening of the white premiums. That's the difference between the refined sugar price and raw sugar price, because of the fact that the refiners like us, the tall converting refiners like us, outputs are necessary to balance the demand supply equation in the world. So as a result of which, we are expecting whatever was the deferment that happened in the first quarter, which is basically a dispatch deferment, and that will be taken care of as far as the rest of the year, mostly made up in the second and early part of the third quarter. And we expect that we should be in a position to post good results for the refinery in the current financial year.
Okay. Any indicative margins you can share?
Yeah, we were discussing about $45 to $50 of spread. So that's the kind of margins that are currently available for refining.
Okay.
Over to Muthu for Nutra, please.
Yeah, good morning, and thank you for your question. So for the nutraceutical business, we play in 3 segments largely. One is our largest segment is prostate health, where we have a palmetto berry extract product, which is made out of a US plant. The second segment is immune health, for which we have products made in India. It's out of farmed microalgae. And the last segment is joint health, which is again joint health formulation, largely out of our US plant. The plan over the next 3 to 5 years is to really focus on the prostate health and the immune health piece. On the prostate health piece, I think the business has done well in the last 3 or 4 years to improve the sort of margins and take the business up by investing in science and value addition. We've also launched a consumer brand. So I think we want to grow that business on the back of good science and by value addition and getting closer to the consumer. On the immune health side, which is our operations in India, I think there is a lot of activity still underway to strengthen our cost position, better our margin, and ultimately, again, we will, with the backing of science, build value and aspire to get closer to the consumer. The focus will be on these two pieces over the next 3 to 5 years. The joint health piece will more be on maintenance mode to see what we wish to do with it afterwards. In terms of a broader perspective, the business is just north of 200 crores consolidated right now. I think the aspiration is to move this business beyond the 500 crore level and substantially strengthen the operating margin to reach about 15 to 18%, which is a good standard, I would say, almost gold standard in this industry if you look at it worldwide. So this will be the immediate plans over the next 3 to 5 years. And I think beyond that, the business will see perhaps some corporate activity and also perhaps entry into other nutraceutical segments.
So, can you just indicate?
Sorry to interrupt you. This is the operator.
Can I squeeze in one question, please?
Please go ahead.
Yeah. What is the market potential that we are discussing in this segment? And I'm just wanting to know the macro perspective about the business opportunity.
So we play the global nutraceutical market is about $275 billion. Out of that, there is functional food and beverages, which accounts for a lion's share of that. About $50 to $60 billion is dietary supplements. That is globally, and we play in the dietary supplement space. So if you look at dietary supplements, this is the space that we play in. Of course, we're really a rounding error in the larger dietary supplement space, but that is the larger opportunity. Of course, the closer you are to the consumer and you have a house of brands or so on and so forth, you are capturing more value from this marketplace.
Okay, I'll come back in the queue. I have some more questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
The next question is from the line of Hitesh Doshi from Nirdhar Securities. Please go ahead. Mr. Doshi, please go ahead with your question.
Hello?
Yes, sir, you're audible. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So, congrats on the recent debt reduction in the company. And so my first question to Mr. Muthu is, what is progress on the Spirulina Blue business? And later on, I just want to know refinery margins current year versus last year. That is one question. And the debt reduction plan and mention of real estate division and some other FMCG kind of businesses in balance sheet. So are we, what are the plan over there? That's all.
So Hitesh bhai, good morning and thank you for your question. The Spirulina Blue business, as we mentioned in the last call, the plant has been commissioned at the beginning of the year. The operations group is doing a fantastic job to strengthen the plant on process efficiencies and so on and so forth. So I think we're at a good operating level right now. In terms of sort of finalizing contracts with the large color houses, which are the first primary customers of the blue extract of Spirulina, I think the gestation period will take longer. So I think we can expect to see positive results from that only in about 6 to 9 months' time. We continue to work with large color houses, mostly in Europe and US, to establish these contracts and establish our products. In the meanwhile, we will obviously service smaller orders and smaller trial orders, mostly in the distribution segment, and sort of wait till really these orders materialize and these contracts materialize, and then we should expect to see almost full capacity utilization of our plant.
What can be the top line at full capacity utilization in 3 to 5 years?
So we have a capacity of about 20 metric tons of blue Spirulina extract. Now that extract is sold in the market for about $120 to $140 a kilo. That's the capacity that we have built currently. We've built it cautiously, not going in a large way just as of yet. In this facility with the current real estate and available, we can go up to about 50 to 55 tons, and that expansion can be done quickly as per the market conditions.
Thank you so much and wish you all the best. Now my question, refinery margins last year versus current year. Hello.
So as we are...
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes,
Can
sir.
I go ahead?
Yes, sir. Tell me, sir.
Okay. So compared to last year, as what we are seeing at the moment, it is too early to say for the whole of the current financial year at this point of time. because of the tightness that is there on the refined sugar.
I mean,
side,
sorry to interrupt you. I just want last year's average margins and current margins right now, whatever is, how much profitable we are more currently as per as last year's average profitability.
Approximately $4 to $5 more this year.
That's all. So we are seeing so much that refinery margins has gone up from $45 to $90, $100 in newspaper articles. So that's what I was trying to understand.
So that you have to consider the net margin. What they are talking of in the public domain is basically the difference between the raw sugar price and the refined sugar price. You have to net it off for the freight of bringing the raw sugar from Brazil or from the origin to India. So that's what we always refer to the net margin as the spread in our calls and our discussion.
And my last question is on last question on debt reduction plan mentioned in the what is your debt reduction plan and the mention of real estate division and the pulse and herbal salt and sugar, many things we have talked in the balance sheet. So what are the plans over there and who is going to handle that division going forward?
Thank you, Hitesh Bhai. There is a debt reduction plan which we have done as of now is using the 2% liquidation in the Coromandel shares. And we don't have any plan to do any real estate reduction now. However, we will continue to focus on debt reduction plan based on the operations itself because we expect a good operation going forward.
Okay. And we have mention of many other businesses in balance sheet right now. So is it just enabling resolution or we will go towards all
Yes, enabling resolution. Enabling resolution.
Okay. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Achal Lohade from JM Financial. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Can you help us with the segmental volumes and the realization for the quarter? I got the production number, I got the recovery rate, but can you help us with the sales volume and the
Sure, no problem. Absolutely no issues. Sales numbers are 1,02,447 tons total sales for the quarter as against last year 78,167 tons. Selling price average realization is 34.3 as against 32.8 of last year. In case of cogen, generated units 535 lakh units as against 331 lakh units. Cogen exported units 309 lakh units as against 153 lakh units. Distillery production 157 lakh units. 185 lakh units. Sales as against, Distillery production for the current quarter is 157 as against 185 of last year. Distillery sales for the current quarter is 145 as against 188 of last year. Average selling price realization in distillery is 61.8 as against 49.05. Is it okay? You want anything more?
Within the sugar segment, can you break it up for domestic and export?
Explained you. No problem. Again, I can repeat. No issues.
Yeah.
In case of sugar, 62,146 is domestic and export is 40,301. So total put together is 102,447 for the current quarter.
And the realization for export and the domestic?
Realization for export and domestic more or less same price, 34 rupees.
Understood. And in terms of the cane cost for the quarter?
Cane cost for the quarter is around same numbers like what was prevalent during the last quarter itself. Anyhow, I can tell you one minute. I'll just give you the number. Maybe I'll come back and let you know. It's not an issue.
And can you help us with the FY20 mix in terms of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Andhra in terms of cane crushing?
FY20 numbers for Karnataka, crushing alone.
Crushing.
As
in terms of trying to...
Karnataka. No. Yeah, Ramesh, you want to say?
I'll tell you, no problem, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Tamil Nadu is 13.77 FY20 number.
Okay.
AP is 5.33.
Okay.
And Karnataka is 17.62. Total is 36.72 FY20 numbers. Is that what you wanted?
Yes. And what is the cane price for the respective states? Would you have that, sir?
No problem. I'll tell you. Around, see, in case of Karnataka, 1 minute. I'll give you. Just a minute. In case of Tamil Nadu, it is around 2,870 rupees. AP, it is same price. And Karnataka, it is 3,100.
And this is a landed cane cost after all.
Yeah, cane cost, cane landed cost.
Okay. And sorry, you were talking about first quarter cane price.
You wanted first quarter cane price. In case of Tamil Nadu, it is same 2,900 rupees. AP, we had only a lesser crush, so it is same 2,800.
Right. Understood. And what is the expectation for cane crushing for FY21?
I'll leave it to Mr. Suresh.
Given the current situation.
No, what was the question?
He wants to know the cane crush for FY 2021.
Yeah.
FY 2021, we expect slightly 8 to 10% higher than the previous year. That is 19%.
So is it fair to say that you would have a similar increase in the other products as well, distillery and cogen?
Yeah, to the extent of increased cane crush, the cogen should increase, sugar production should increase, distillery should also marginally increase.
Distillery will have, because in the first quarter we have some production decrease on account of this pandemic. Maybe that impact we cannot recover back. So otherwise, as Mr. Suresh said, yes, in proportion to whatever cane crush happening in the corresponding quarters in the next few quarters, there will be a slight increase.
Understood. And the second question is with respect to the cost reduction. Can you give some idea as to what has been the extent of cost reduction in FY20? And if you could give a breakup in which heads, and what is the plan for FY21?
Yes, sir, you want to take it or shall I answer, sir?
Yeah, go ahead. No problem.
See, in case of the FY20, there is a reduction on accounts of various areas which the manufacturing fixed cost we took it off as an area of production, and then some manpower areas we took it as a reduction. So which we achieved it to some extent. However, the fullest realization which we are seeing only in the current year, the FY21 one. See, where this pandemic situation, we are able to understand the various rationalization objective under various areas, under various headings of fixed cost, either it is repairs to maintenance or it is operational requirement or some of other fixed costs, that travel, such things have enabled us to put a restriction on various areas, which is helping us to bring down the fixed cost drastically.
Would you be able to quantify what kind of cost?
You have to wait. You have just realized for the first quarter you could see some 12 crores reduction. Whether the same amount of reduction can be continued, we'll have to wait and watch.
But the most of the things, as Mr. Ramesh was explaining, we will be very tight in terms of all our expenses. This COVID is bringing a new normal. We have to wait and see how the Q2 also comes out. Accordingly, certain things have to come on a steady state. Then we will be able to quantify the impact which it will have on the full year. Certain maintenance activity itself we didn't even do because there is no availability of labor to do all the maintenance related activities. So we have to wait for one more quarter and then see how does it pan out. Definitely the cost reduction measures are on. Objective is to go ahead and then ensure that they are coming out on a steady state basis, sustainable basis.
Got it. That's helpful. Just a small request, sir, like I requested earlier as well. It would be really great if you could give the data points in a press release or a presentation form in order to get it on a consistent basis, the entire breakup. That would be really helpful. Thank you.
Sure, we'll do that, Lachin.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ritwik Sheth from One Up Financial Consultant. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for the opportunity. So, two questions from my end. First, for the refinery division, what was the total EBITDA in FY20 and Q1 FY21?
Yeah, for the refinery, the EBITDA for FY20 was 74 crores.
Okay.
And Q1 current year is 14 crores.
14 crores. Okay. Okay. And so when you mentioned that the spreads are $45 to $50 on an average, that would be before our conversion cost, right?
Absolutely.
And what is the conversion cost in FY20 and currently?
Around $32 to $35.
$32 to $35. Okay. Sure. Okay. And sir, second question is on the debt part. I couldn't get the debt figure. So if you could give us the debt figure excluding refinery and the refinery debt as of June 2020, that would be helpful.
Sure. I'll give you the numbers.
Sure.
Yeah, as far as the debt part is concerned, excluding refinery, long-term loan is 367 for EID, short-term loan is 362. In case of refinery, long-term loan is 200 crores, short-term loan is 820 crores.
Okay, sure. So cumulatively, excluding Coromandel, our debt stands at about 1,700 odd crores.
Yes, you're right. As of Q1.
As of Q1, which is lower by 300 crores?
See, the beginning of the year, we had 2,250 crores.
Okay.
Yeah, the substantial reduction.
Okay. So what does the balance 250 crore explain?
Hello? Yeah.
What? So 2250 crores is around 1,700 crores as of date. So what does the balance 350 crores you got from Coromandel's share sale, and what does the balance explain?
So we received 370 crores from the Coromandel share. The balance is from the operation itself.
Okay, from the operation.
Yeah, operation. Yeah, operating cash flow.
Okay. Thank you, and all the best. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to ensure that the management is able to address questions from all participants in the conference, please limit your questions to 2 per participant. Should you have a follow-up question, we would request you to rejoin the question queue. The next question is from the line of Vipin Singh, individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, firstly, I would like to congratulate you on the figure that you have shared. Sir, my question is, have you invested in any other business which is from some other sector?
Sorry, come again?
My question is, have your company invested in any other business which is from other different sector, or all have you invested in the companies which is in the same sector? My question is, have you invested in any other company which belongs to some other sector?
You're talking about whatever investments which we hold in our book. Is that what you're asking?
Yes, sir.
Investments is, see, in case of EID, we are holding our subsidiaries, and in US it's the same business what we are doing, Nutra business. In case of fertilizer is another business what Coromandel is doing. The rest are all in line with what we do, the current business.
Okay. So, sir, can you quantify the impact of the COVID-19 in your business? Can you quantify that?
Sir, you want to take it or shall I take it, sir?
Can you repeat the question, please?
So my question is, can you quantify the impact of COVID-19 in your business in quarter June 30, 2020?
I think I can just briefly say the impact.
Just brief it, I'll continue.
Yeah. See, the impact has been predominantly on the sale of sugar in the month of April and May, because most of the consumption has been only in the domestic, the household consumption. Because of the lockdown, so many out-of-home consumption, what we call, has not been happening at all. The malls, the theaters, restaurants, hotels, office consumption, none of these things have been happening. That's what I was mentioning initially, that the overall demand of the country itself has come down. It is expected to be down to around 2 million tons compared to the previous year for the sugar in 1920. So the sugar sale has been impacted. That's what is getting reflected in the release quota as well. To the extent of what is required as a consumption, the government has been releasing the sugar quantity. Number one. Maybe roughly around 10 to 12% or 15% reduction has happened for us in terms of the release quota compared to the previous year. And the second thing is about the sale of alcohol. As you know, once again, the consumption points have been shut, and so the producing companies have been building on inventories. So they were not doing any offtake of alcohol from us. That led to a reduction in the sale of alcohol as well. However, as we were explaining earlier, we took this opportunity and then we were able to export, do some fulfilling of certain export quotas what we had, and try to make up for the loss of the sale in the sugar sale in the domestic sector. So this is the overall impact COVID has got on us. From an operation standpoint, all the factories we have been able to run, and then whatever was the carryover came from the earlier years, that is the 18-19, we have been able to crush, 19-20, we have been able to crush it in the first quarter of 2021. Broadly, the impact on that, maybe Ramesh can share it.
Yes, as Mr. Suresh said, there are the temporary challenges with respect to the disruption on account of lockdown, which forced the government to restrict the release quota on the companies, not only for us, for the entire India. However, we capitalized the opportunity of ensuring some export opportunities. So we ensured that we could export more quantity. If you see last year, the corresponding quarter, we could do for 6,000 tons on the export. This year, we could do around 40,000 tons export during the first quarter. And also, to give you some perspective on the alcohol, as Mr. Suresh said, the first 2 months, because of the lockdown situation, the entire country, the production was stopped. So only last 1.5 months of sales was there. Though during the last 1.5 months of sales were there, we achieved the highest sale during the month of June. We sold around 90 lakh liters in June alone. So though there is a temporary disruption, however, we ensured that we capitalize the opportunity on other areas to ensure we made a good numbers during the quarter one. Coupled with the various other initiatives like cost reduction measures, help the company to do better performance for the quarter one. Is it okay? You want anything else?
Thank you. We'll take the next question from the line of Anupam Goswami from B&K Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello. Hi, sir. Question on the sugar segment. So what is our cost of production for sugar, and so why did we get a loss still in this segment, and also in the cogen segment we with a loss? What is happening over there?
Sir, we are located in 3 locations as far as our sugar mills are concerned. We are located in Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu, where the Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, we are still continuing under price purchase agreement of our electricity board. Whereas in Tamil Nadu, we are not under price purchase agreement, where we are our sugar, whatever export we do in cogen, is the realization comes to only the exchange. The exchange realization is as low as 2 rupees. That is the only reason for which the sugar, whereas export of cogen is lesser. The average realization in case of cogen is lesser. However, with respect to, what is the other question you asked?
About sugar also, what is our cost of production?
Cost of production is around 33 rupees.
Okay, and our conversion cost, sir, that sugar?
All put together, boss. All put together. I have given a landed cost of 4 rupees will be our conversion cost.
So you mentioned that, this time realization was better at 34.3. Still we get a sugar loss, and when can we, get a profit or break even from this segment, and what condition would that, justify that?
See, if you compare yourself with our last year first quarter numbers, there's a drastic improvement with respect to the sugar numbers itself, sugar segment itself. If you take it on a full year number, I think we should break even this year. A better performance will be there.
Okay. And my sir...
Sorry to interrupt you. This is the operator, Mr. Goswami. May we request that you return to the question queue for follow-up questions? Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sanjay Shah from KSA Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, gentlemen, and thanks for opportunity. Sir, can you elaborate on the relocation of our Tamil Nadu plant as you're planning to Karnataka? So what will be the time frame, what will be the cost involved, and what benefit will we derive from that?
See, Suresh, I will take the question. The Tamil Nadu plant, which is there in Pudukkottai, was planned to be relocated to Karnataka. The rationale behind that is the infrastructure needs to be in places where there is going to be abundance of cane. In Karnataka, we had planned that this equipment will go into the location at Haliyal, so that we can set up a greenfield course as an add-on plant in the existing premises. Originally, but for this COVID, this would have gone in this should have been made available for crushing in the financial year 2021 itself. Unfortunately, due to the COVID situation, we are not able to even start any of the work. Hence, the delay is happening from our internal targets. Technically, this should be available for crushing in Haliyal, that is our Karnataka location, from the financial year 21-22. That means from October of 2021, you should be able to have this plant relocated in Haliyal for crushing, and the benefits should start flowing from there. Basically, what happens is you should the total cost will be somewhere around 100 crores for the entire process, including civil, equipment, shifting, new infrastructure, and everything. That is what will be done, and that should be in place by the next financial year.
So what will be, is the full capacity of Tamil Nadu we are shifting, or it's part?
No, it is only one of the plants in Tamil Nadu, which is in Pudukkottai. That infrastructure gets relocated to the place in Karnataka.
So what will be doing with that land over there, and what will be our plan for the ideal place over there at the plant?
Post relocation, we have to evaluate the land value and then take it all apart.
Right. And what is the capacity of that plant? Can you please highlight?
That plant is somewhere around 4,000 TC.
4,000 TC, right. So my second question is regarding our finance cost. After reducing high cost, retiring high cost debt, what will be your finance cost? What was the last year and what will be the current year?
Sir, the finance cost, we expect around 22 to 23 crores to be reduced during this full year, based on the total debt reduction program.
22 to 23.
For the current year, FY21.
That is because of debt reduction plus reduction in cost, right?
No, only on debt reduction interest cost.
Only interest?
Yeah, you're right. Overall debt reduction cost.
Correct. Thank you, sir. That's from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ketan Dedia from Nalanda Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hello?
Yes,
sir. Yeah. Congratulations on a good set of numbers. I want to just understand about nutraceutical business. Your revenue doubled from 46 crores to 70 crores, right? So this doubling of the revenue, is it sustainable? And should we take this as a quarterly run rate? And which products did well during this quarter?
So Ketan bhai, good afternoon, Muthu here, and thanks for your message. The reason for the growth this year is largely on account of the US market. Some of our large buyers like retailers like Costco, for example, had increased their offtake of our saw palmetto extract, and I think that has driven the growth. In my reading of the situation is because the COVID situation in US is sort of waxing and waning in different states and not perhaps being handled the right way. Large retailers who have the propensity are building up a lot of safety stock. So I think that's why they have increased their offtake. We obviously have the supply chain prowess to ensure we meet their requirements. But there should be some moderation, I feel, in the coming quarters of the numbers. So that remains to be seen. So I'm cautious around this.
Okay. And Just wanted to also understand about your blue business, color business. Like going forward, you said there are going to be some long-term contracts. So what would be the margins in that?
So the reality around the blue extract business is I think there's a lot of price competition in the market. So pricing has obviously fallen. So our focus has really been to ensure that we are very lean and operate supremely efficiently. So I think a lot of that good work has been done. So we'll have to, once we get into these contracts, we will probably aspire to start with margins of about 30%, 30 to 25%, and we'll have to sort of work beyond that to improve the margins. But it's unfortunate that the pricing has corrected because of a lot of people entering the supply chain, particularly from China.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, and one other question. Like you mentioned that the interest cost would reduce only by 22 crores
for the full year.
22 crores, right?
Yeah.
So our total finance cost was how much? 135 crores for the financial year 19-20?
Yeah, you're right, sir. You're right.
And like a reduction in the debt is about 500 crores.
Yes, sir.
So the reduction should be more or it should be...
Correct only. We also need to have the working capital for the cane crush which is going to happen in the second quarter. Average working capital needs to be maintained in the system.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Saket Kapoor from Kapoor & Company. Please go ahead. Mr.
Thank you for the opportunity and good afternoon, sir. Sir, just for two small clarification. Firstly, on the sugar part in the AP play which you were explaining, could you please delve in detail the reason for losses and how much losses we have to incur because of this fixed quota system prevailing in the AP market?
AP market? Not able.
Sorry, we didn't explain anything about AP market. Can you repeat the question, sir?
Sir, you explained that our sugar business caters in the three states of AP, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, and due to different regimes at different states, that has resulted in Andhra Pradesh market contributing to EBITDA losses for the sugar segment, whereas
we
the other
tell you that itself. You are asking that question.
Okay, I'm sorry, sir.
Anything like that.
Okay, sir. Then I'm mistaken. Please explain reason why you were explaining about the sugar segment. So some understanding about how different state regimes have affected the sugar numbers.
No, actually, if you look at the sales perspective, Tamil Nadu and AP, the sale, whatever sale we could do was predominantly more in Karnataka and relatively lesser in Tamil Nadu and AP because of the intensity of the lockdown which has happened in the respective states. In fact, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, the lockdown was more severe only during June 15th to June 22nd or June 30th. Till that time, we were able to sell more. Whereas in the case of Andhra and Tamil Nadu, we had the COVID impact and accordingly the lockdown. So the much of sale could not happen from these two different places. And overall, the consumption itself has been going down. So the total volume which we had sold during the first quarter has been lower from the previous year first quarter by close around 10 to 15%.
Okay, sir. And what was the inventory?
Sorry to interrupt you. This is the operator. May we request that you return to the question queue for follow-up questions. We have several participants waiting for their turn. Thank you. The next question is from the line of Aman Shah from GT Investment. Please go ahead.
Hello. Yeah. Sir, really appreciate on our debt reduction move that we have taken and selling 2% of our core holding. Some of my questions, I'll just list them down all together. One of them is in the refinery business. We have done a lot of operational improvement to become one of the lowest cost operator in this business. Could you please just highlight what is our break-even spread and what would be the comparable break-even spread for the industry as a whole on a global basis? That's one. Second is, we highlighted in Q4 call that we'll go for reduction of long-term debt. And our long-term debt is still like 360 plus 200 crore in the refinery part, so 560 crores. So just wanted to check if we are also going to reduce this long-term debt in the course of the coming quarters. The third is, sir, in nutraceuticals, we had a good sales bump up in this quarter, while margins have actually remained at that level, and it is still posted a loss of around 3 crores negative. So if you can also highlight any reasons for that, it would be great. So fourth one is in Spirulina Blue. We said, I think I misheard it, we said capacity of some 20 million ton, and it is currently sold at $120 to $140 per kilo. If that are the right numbers, then potential revenue becomes very high. So if you can just highlight the potential revenue and the operational part of it. Thanks.
Hello?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah. With respect to the debt side, what you have been asking, you see the debt, which the long-term debt which we have in our books is a NCDs. NCDs cannot be repaid now. It can be repaid only at the maturity date. So otherwise, whatever other long-term debts which we have in the books will be reduced. So the whatever we have, whatever book long-term debt we had in the book as of now has been reduced substantially. The other long-term debts which we have is only a zero-cost debt, or only we are waiting for the government to ensure if any new scheme comes, accordingly a debt will be taken, or otherwise it will be zero-cost debt. Anything else you want on the debt side?
No, sure.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Anupam Goswami from B&K Securities. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. So what kind of sugar recovery we are expecting this next season? Hello.
Yeah.
What kind of sugar recovery are we expecting in the next season, and are we have adopted any higher sugar variety that is going on in the Uttar Pradesh side? Have we adopted that?
No, the Uttar Pradesh variety of CO238 is not going to be used in southern India. That has already been validated also through different multi-location trials what we have done. Whereas what we are working on is we are working along with the SBI Coimbatore in terms of getting a new variety which is called as 110. The initial stages, in the sense they have gone through the crop nursery, nucleus nursery, and it is into the regular planting. We are one of mills, or maybe the only mill which has planted close to 1,350 acres or so in our command areas. But these varieties are going to give us benefit only in the next 2 to 3 years time frame. As far as the current year is concerned, the recovery could be in line with the previous year as far as Karnataka is concerned. Whereas in the areas like Tamil Nadu and Andhra, it should be slightly lower because the impact of COVID, we have to wait and see how, because in the first quarter, whatever we have crushed, the recoveries have not been good. So we'll have to keep our fingers crossed and then see how things are going to be. Even in Karnataka, depending on how COVID pans out, we have to see, because that should not delay the harvesting of the cane. Cane should need to be harvested in the right time. But by and large, we are expecting it to be in line with the previous year.
Okay. So, and my next question is...
sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, just one question. You said 2 questions, right? Just one question I will skip in. Distillery, are we doing any B-heavy, from any B-heavy ethanol? And do we have enough capacities to buy molasses from our own, or do we buy molasses from outside?
Yeah, see, actually, we have enough in Karnataka. Also, we have equally good enough quantity in Andhra, where we run the B-heavy, and then Tamil Nadu, we do not have permission to produce B-heavy and syrup out of the one molasses which have been produced, or for that matter, any molasses which is produced. I buy molasses from market in order to keep the distillery going.
How much B-heavy did we...
Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Goswami. May we request that you return to the question queue for follow-up questions. We'll take the next question from the line of Kashyap Pujara from Axis Capital Limited. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
wanted to ask you to, answer the previous participant's question, who, on break-even point in refinery, which is a break-even spread in refinery in the current quarter, and how do you think about, reducing break-even levels going forward? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, thank you, Kashyap. As far as the question regarding break-even margin for the refinery, it actually depends upon the kind of refinery that what we have, because there is also a question on the industry break-even. Because globally there are also refineries that operate where they sell into domestic markets. So those refineries have the advantage of having a duty protection in terms of selling into domestic, and therefore the export is on a marginal cost basis. So, but coming back to our scenario where we are totally a re-export refinery, so the break-even margin would be in the region of $45 per ton of spread. And in terms of initiatives, in order to improve our positions with respect to this external environment, we have been working on improvement of the throughput. The refinery throughput has been substantially increased over the last two years going forward in terms of reducing the per unit cost. And second, as was highlighted in the previous call and touched upon by Ramesh Kumar, we are also working on the efficiency of our working capital turns, by which we are in a position to reduce our interest cost, and that will also help us to turn around the situation with respect to, because interest is a good amount of cost as far as the refining business is concerned.
Sure. And just wanted to ask you, another point was on the working capital for the refinery business. I think it's in the 800 crore range, which seems a tad higher. Now, globally, there are refineries which can also, which have operated at much lower capital intensities than ours. And so what is the room for improvement, that we can expect in the next couple of years? Can this be, substantially lower, the capital intensity on the refinery bit?
Suresh. Okay. No problem.
Kashyap, in terms of the capital intensity, as you are already seeing, compared to even the previous year, we are cutting down our short-term debt levels based on fine-tuning of the working capital cycle. So the journey is further on in order to cut down the extent of debt required, especially short-term debt that is required to run the working capital side. There are certain positive developments that can also help this in the form of, because India is going to be an exporter next year in 2021 also. And as we are speaking, we understand there is a clarification from the Government of India providing the full subsidy for supplies into the SEZ unit. So in that case, then we don't have to source all our requirements from Brazil, as a result of which we don't have to have the long cycle and the off-crop period coverage when Brazil goes off-crop from October to March. Going forward, there are some strategic initiatives that are possible. For example, when Thailand gets into a high production mode, which we expect the crops should recover at least from 21-22 onwards. And because of the proximity of Thailand, we need some adjustments for processing such kind of raws from Thailand. So that is another element of strategy that can be deployed at an opportune moment, wherein we can reduce the pipeline and the turnaround time of the capital that's needed to run this refining business. So a combination of domestic sourcing, combination of sourcing from alternate sources, and of course continuing to work on our efficiency of turning around the stocks in both from the point of view of procurement and in terms of our selling efforts.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ritika Gupta from Equitas Investment. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. So I wanted to know what kind of volumes do we expect in our refinery business for the remaining 3 quarters of FY21?
See, we are targeting to sell in more than 8 lakhs, let's say 8.5 lakh tons for the current financial year. That's been our objective. And therefore, we have done around 1.2 in the first quarter, 1.24 to be specific. So you're close to 7.25 lakhs is what we expect to sell out in the next 3 quarters.
So, and you mentioned that the SEZ unit can now procure raw sugar from India. Is that correct?
Yes, as we were speaking, there is been some notification from the government, which is to the effect of clarifying the eligibility of full financial assistance for the domestic mills when they supply to SEZ.
So, sir, what kind of benefit will we get in terms of transportation savings?
I think on an overall basis, we spoke in the last call also, there is a possibility. We again need to see based on the relative economics of crop in Brazil and crop in India, between $5 to $10 per ton of saving on sourcing from Indian.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, due to time constraint, we'll take that as a last question. I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Kashyap Pujara for closing comments.
Thank you everyone for participating on this call, and thanks to the management of E.I.D. Parry to being today with us. And in case due to time constraints, some of your questions have not been answered, please feel free to reach out to the company secretary or myself, and we will get back to you on questions which can be answered to. That's all, and thank you so much.